Hey there, Wade Sellers here, and in this video we're going to talk about compound operators. You use these a little less often, but they're actually super valuable, and they're pretty cool to do, so check this out. Okay, let's start out just real quick. Compound operators. Let's just set up a variable real quick. We'll just call it number equals 5, okay? And we'll mess with that. Check this out. I could do this. I could do number equals number plus 1. What do you think happens here? Number equals number plus 1. If you think that it's going to be 5 plus 1, you're right. So if I run the code, you'll see number equals 5, and then you'll see number plus 1 equals 6. Okay, we've basically added or incremented 1 to the current value stored at number. But I could do this a little simpler. I could use a compound operator. I could do number plus equals 1. And if I run that code, notice that I get the same thing. I get 7, okay? Now I got that because this one was 6 and then it's 7. So if I actually comment this out and then I hit run again, I won't increment twice, right? So now it'll be 6, right? Now what's happened here? What's going on here is this is a compound operator. And what this plus equals is saying is take whatever the value is at number and add 1 to it, right? It's all happening all in that little line. So we could also do, so currently it's 6, okay? Actually, let me just comment it out to keep it simple. I could use a decrementer compound operator as well. So I could do number minus equals 1. Actually, let's do 2. Numbers minus equals 2. What do you think the value will be? If the value you think is 5 minus 2 and store that value there, then you'd be right. It'd be 3. So if I run it, I click it, 3. So what's happened there is number minus equals 2 is take the value that's at number and subtract whatever is on the right here, 2, okay? Now what's really neat is when you do this, number minus equals 2, you're not just doing this little math expression here. You are storing that value, and you're storing that value because of the equal sign. And let me show you an example of that. Let's just do something like var, we'll call it x1, and we'll make it equal 1, okay? And if we do x1 plus equals 2, then we know what will happen. The value of x1, which is 1, will be added, we'll add this value 2 to x1, and then we will store it at x1. So x1 will no longer be 1, it will be 3. And we can do that by printing it out here so you see it, x1. So if I run this code, you get 3 up here. We've printed the value of x1 and it's 3, okay? So what's going on here is we are adding this value to the value that's stored at x1, and we are also storing it. Now let me show you why that equal sign is so important. If we go down here, we might do, let's say var x3 equals 1, and then we might just do x3 plus 2, okay? And let's print that, x3. I'm gonna go ahead and comment this one out. Okay, what's gonna happen here? Var x3 equals 1. x3 plus 2 should equal what? 3, right? So it's 2 plus 1 equals 3. And then I'm going to print out the value at x3, okay? If I run the code, notice that it prints out a 1. Well, what's going on there? Well, if you notice, we didn't use the equal sign. So we do the operation, sure, and you'll see the operation adds up right here. If I do 1 plus 2, it equals 3. That's the value of this expression. But because we didn't have the equal sign, we didn't actually put that value and store it into the variable, right? So the plus equals there is go ahead and take the value, add whatever's on the right, and store it at that variable spot, okay? That's what the equal sign does. That's the power of it. So these are compound operators. The compound operators you have are your decrements, your minus equals, your increments, your plus equals. You have your multiplication one and your division one, and you actually technically have your modulus one. So if you want to see a multiplication one real quick, let's do that. So let's do something. Oh, I'll show you something else too. Check this out. This is a little shorthand operation. let's create three variables in one line. Let's do var a equals 3. Now I could go down here and I could do like var b equals 3 as well. I could do that, but I could also do this. I could use a comma here and do b equals 3, and then I could do c equals -2. Okay, that's technically created all three of those variables. So that's just a little shorthand thing. You really wouldn't use it all that often, but it's just cool to see that you can do it. Okay, so I've got three variables, a, b, and c. All right, so let's do a equals a times c. All right, so that's 3 times -2, which would be -6, right? So if I run the code, you'll see -6. Okay, I could also do b times equals c, and that would use the multiplication compound operator. So what's going on here? Take the value of b and multiply c, and then store that value at b. Okay, that's what the equal sign's doing. So if I then do print b, for instance, let's run the code. Oh, what else? I got another print statement there. Let me hide that. Run the code. Okay. So a times c, right here, this first statement, it's -6. Okay. b times equals c will be take the value of b, which is 3, multiply it by c, -2. So 3 times -2 is 6, and store it at b. So you'll see right here, the b times equals c does equal -6. And then if I print out b, you'll see that it is printed out as -6. Cool. So that is compound operators. Again, you use these less, but you will use the increment and the decrement operator pretty often in your code in order to keep track of counts of codes and how many times you've ran things and whatnot. I'm getting ahead of myself. Let's get right into the apps after this. This is Operators. I hope you enjoyed this, and I will see you in the next video series. Bye.